We're back.
We're back.
Whether you like it or not, we're back.
Good to be back.
August commercial sales chat with Victor Antonio.
And we're past the dog days of summer.
We are past the dog days of summer. August 11th officially ended it.
That's right.
Although with the temperature here in Atlanta, like at 95, I don't know if you could vouch for it. And it's still hot as heck out there, isn't it?
It is. But it was a little cool this morning, so it was good.
Man,
we got a lot of beautiful people out there. You want to call anybody out here?
You know, I saw Eric Downey. Eric Downey hit me up. You know, we got to button up that promise I made to you when I was down there in New Orleans. So hit me up tonight after 6 o'clock on my cell phone. I think you have that. Just give me a call. We'll work out that deal we talked about.
It sounds like a drug deal going on in the
Yeah,
background.
it
Hey,
is.
let's
It's
work out
actually-
that deal. Just call me.
He's
You
the
know,
guy that
hit me
wants
with the digits.
He's the guy that wants to come to the sales conference. So we're
Okay.
going to get him to Atlanta.
Jacob Johnson's got some rats behind him. There you go, my man.
He's the rack packer. There's Mark McConnell. There's Amani. Who else we got out there? You know,
Trey Locke looks like he has a strip mall. He's got nothing to do, but he's at a strip mall in the back.
Bobby Bundles. Slide that over one more time, then we'll get moving.
Let me see. Let's go harass some more people. We got some good people on here today, I can tell.
Cameras on. Oh, there's a lot. Oh, there's some folks without their cameras on.
Alan's got the palm tree, my man Alan. I don't know what Noel Villarreal is doing in the background there. He's got what do you call that? The green stuff in the north?
I don't know. What is that?
Aurora Borealis
Look
or
that up
something
in the
like
chat,
that.
whatever that is. The Northern Lights, maybe?
Northern Lights, there you go.
I
That's
don't
what
know.
it is. Northern Lights. He's getting creative back there.
There's the goat, Brian
So,
McDearman. Who
There's a
else we
goat.
got
Where's
there?
the goat?
Michael Wilburn. Yeah, we got lots of folks.
Yeah. R. Kelly. That's weird already, but he's on the phone while he's watching us. I don't think that guy can multitask. But if I had a name like R. Kelly, I would change that really quick. Pseudonym that baby. Am I right?
Let's get going.
All right.
Let's get going before we get in trouble.
All right, go ahead. Your turn.
That was not a good space to move
No,
into.
sorry, wrong. ADHD. It's not his fault. It's my fault. Yeah, it's.
Amen. Amen. Hey, we had a strong July, right? We've been clicking along. This is our commercial broadcast, obviously. We're going to do a residential broadcast next Tuesday, but we had a super strong July
All right,
in
Ed,
commercial sales.
How strong was it, Ed?
There we go. We got this Johnny Carson thing going on. Half the people out there don't even know who Johnny Carson is. So here's how strong July was for us. I'm gonna review my notes. 12% year-over-year increase in local commercial sales. Nice. Super strong. High, nice double digits. That builds on what we've been doing historically through the year. So I mean that pace continued in July. The national account team sales, the ones where the account managers and these folks out there team up with the national account reps, up 18% over last year with some monster home runs.
Stronger clap.
Sales, $100,000 plus sales, really crushing that.
Wow.
On the national account side, just to share something that sometimes you don't get a good look into, our national account revenues year to date through July are up 12% year over year.
Nice.
Total revenues. I mean, that's crazy strong. We've had a trend for, I guess the last couple of years of doing double-digit increases in revenue. A nice increase in revenues like 5-6%, super strong. And more importantly, the recurring revenue, that stuff that just keeps on giving every month,
Right.
Up 10% year over year. So just a killer.
Management's got to like that one.
Management does love that.
Yeah.
and to point, as you know, on the last broadcast we did last month, we talked about being on profit plan through the first half of the year. We gave just a little itty bitty back in company-wide in July, but still enough of an increase. We had a $3.5 million profit increase in July company-wide.
Nice.
That we are still on profit plan. And so when we're on profit plan, my life is easier. Easy.
Is Freeman happy?
Freeman's a happy
Is Freeman
guy
fun?
right now. Freeman's a happy guy. When Freeman's not happy, it's we got some difficulties, but I mean, just really good stuff. Continuing to build on what they're already doing.
Yeah.
And more importantly, I think when we talk about the individuals, killer performances individually. So last month, if you remember, we kind of set the bar at 85,000 for recognizing folks in kind of our top 15 or whatever it was, but I took it down to 75,000 this month. I didn't really lower the bar, but I lowered the bar. So
no, you were more inclusive.
You
got to reframe that. You were more inclusive.
I like that. I like that. That works.
Embrace that.
So we had 18 folks, Victor, in the month of July get paid on over $75,000.
Okay.
Right. So I mean, doing the simple math, commissions are anywhere from 15 to 20 on a sliding scale, depending on their annual performance.
Nice.
These guys and gals made well over $10,000, $12,000 in the month of July. So just outstanding performances individually. And I think our friend Aubrey has built a a little video to celebrate.
Wait, let's roll the video.
Roll the tape.
Jeff killed it. Jeff killed it.
Ben.
Yeah. Benny Hill. You call him Benny Hill or
No,
no?
you can't call him Benny Hill. We talked
I like
about
Benny Hill.
on
Yo,
the
Benny
first
Hill.
broadcast.
Yo, Ben Hill. All right, call him Ben Hill. He's probably going to send me an email.
2 folks over 200,000. Now, again, that list is not sold. That list is what you got paid on. That's what we got started last month. So that's kind of how I kind of do my top 10s and my top rankings. Not what necessarily you sold, what got started.
Okay.
So
You know what I'm going to ask?
What are you going to ask?
How much money do these guys make? Top two, Benny and Jeff, by the way.
So Ben Hill, perennial President's Clubber, Chairman's Club, superstar. Jeff Belling, veteran, really good producer. Those cats, I'm guessing, I think it's a pretty educated guess, that they're in the 20% commission rate.
Nice.
So, I mean, even simple math from Youngstown, Ohio, 20% of 200,000 is a $40,000 paycheck.
I like the way you dated yourself. Those cats.
Those cats. He
That's
makes
so
fun of me
70s.
all the
Those
time.
cats.
I'm kind of getting tired of this.
Those cats.
But think about that.
That's a lot of money. That's well done,
Plus,
man.
we pay him a little bit of salary.
done.
But
Well
I
done.
mean, just monster months.
That is.
Just
Good numbers
monster
down
months.
here.
And not to belittle the other performances, but we had a whole bunch of folks over 100, had a whole bunch of folks over 75, and again, the message continues to be the same. 12 different regions are represented there. So again, that line, it's never the man or the woman. It's never the land. It's always the man or the woman.
it's a good
You can
spread.
do this anywhere.
Yep.
West Coast, East Coast, North Coast, Mid Coast, South Coast, whatever coast you want to talk about. There's representation on that
Is there such
list.
a thing as a South Coast? I don't think so. But anyway, some comments here. Eric Downey said 30, 40K, great. Amani said, let's do it again in August. Make that dollar bill, y'all. I love that. Kurt says, wow, impressive. I'm the new guy and shooting for those kind of results down the road. Kurt, make it happen. Let's split the numbers afterwards. Awesome job from Brady. Great job from Ann. And Amani with the, yeah, baby, it's time to make money. I don't know. I'm starting to like this Amani character. I don't know who that person is, but they're into the game. Let's do this thing.
Amen. No, I mean, just super performance. But if you tuned into last month's broadcast, this guy who I pay to come help talk us up, put me on the hook for Amazon gift cards. So the deal was, if you sold over $85,000, started over $85,000 in July,
Yep.
I would give you a $100 Amazon gift card. And I thought that was plenty until my friend Victor here said, well, what if they sell 100? I bumped it to 200. So I'm out now from the guy that we're paying to show up.
Got to crowbar that wallet open.
I'm out $1,400.
Spread the love.
In your email tonight, you'll get a gift card. Lathan, Matthew will get $100 gift cards. The rest of this group are going to get $200 gift cards because
These
you
guys.
upped the ante.
That's right.
Yeah, so Jeff Belling, Ben, Garrett out of Pittsburgh, young fella out of Pittsburgh, James in Colorado, Dennis Ganser, Billy Beaumonte. You guys will receive in your email inbox tonight $200 Amazon gift cards, courtesy of Victor Antonio, I guess. But
Feel free to send me a gift, guys.
There
Feel
you
free.
go.
All right.
No, just
congratulations,
outstanding.
by the way.
Just outstanding.
Seriously, congratulations.
We'll do the same thing again for it starts in August. If you start over 85,000 in commercial business in August, $100 gift card, and if you cross that $100,000 barrier, $200 gift cards. I'm glad you didn't drag me into paying more out for $200,000, because who knows what I would have given away for $200,000.
What would you give away for $200,000?
So
what would you give away for $200,000?
He's got his.
Dude, I
you
mean,
set
that's
the hook and you're
that's a
reeling
big
in.
number. That's a big number. I think anybody over 208 should get something. Just kind of like set the floor.
So $200,000, they're making $40,000 in commission, and you want me to give them another
You don't
couple
understand?
hundred?
Yeah, see, you don't understand. See, when you get a check commission, that's like check commission. When you get a gift card, that's like license to spend it out what you want, guilt-free spending. That's what I'm talking about. That's what they want on the side. That's called love, Ed. Love.
All right. So we didn't do this on the first broadcast, so we're going to get in trouble if they watched it. You go over $200,000 in August, it's a $500 Amazon card.
Boom! You owe that
bonus.
to me. You owe that to me if you get that.
I'm going to have to quit inviting you, because you are just giving away my money. But no, I mean, just outstanding performance across the board from this team.
So I want to be clear. It's a $500 gift card
If
for
you go
anybody over 200.
Yes.
I'm pulling for it. That's really good.
Think
actually.
about that.
That's pretty good, actually. It's like I said, it's guilt-free spending, man. I love that.
Absolutely.
All right.
Hey, let's get into what our content is for today. That's kind of our little warm up with you. You know, over the past 3 broadcasts, we've skipped some stones, and I just want to kind of not spend any time on them, but just talk about them. So, like, the first thing that we skipped with you is the I want to think about it and how to overcome that by using some of the tools in the Sales Velocity Academy.
Right.
You know, something that we're going to get all the time. I want to think about it. So we walk through that process. You know, we talk about skipping stones.
Can I add something? There was a study that came out by the folks over at Tether and says the biggest objection we get, the one that really kills your conversion number, is the I'll think about it.
Yeah.
I'm just further emphasizing why understanding how to use the script that we provide is going to help people.
Again, we're trying to funnel it down and get to the real reason, right? So I still have hundreds and hundreds of customers up in Ohio that are still thinking about it, and they haven't bought in 25 years, right? So I think that's one of the first ones we share with you. The other one that we shared that I think is vitally important to our commercial folks is, you know, how to deal with I already have a current vendor. I'm happy with my guy, I'm happy with my gal, right? So we talked through that. We also talked about closing the credibility gap. We spent some time, you know, skipping that stone.
Right.
Talk a little bit about that.
I think the interesting thing in the market today is people, it's not about the product or the service, it's whether they trust the person delivering the product or the service. So the biggest differentiator, I'm repeating myself, is the salesperson or the consultant. If we can close that credibility gap, conversions rate go up. That's why that course is really a good course.
Yeah, keeping it simple for stupid, the best salesperson wins. Right? I mean, that's what it comes down to. We spent some time in the last broadcast working through bundles and options and how to offer options to use that as being a differentiator.
Pricing.
And then the last thing we talked about in last month's broadcast was the customer brain. We asked you to dive into the Sales Velocity Academy, talk about the customer brain, and really that understanding the perceived effort for that vendor, you know, that current customer to change, to make that change. So, and I think that's a big piece of what we have going on with our commercial sellers when we're really trying to knock out a current vendor for 90% of what they're selling.
And sometimes it isn't that they want to go with another vendor. They just want to feel comfortable making a decision with you.
Absolutely.
So I know, and by the way, a lot of your Orkin folks attended my master class, the last one, the indecisive buyer. So thank you. And I really talked about how they're just having a hard time deciding. Yeah. It's not they know they need it. They just have a hard time deciding. So.
Yeah. Amen. No, so I thought that was cool. So our intent today is to kind of skip a couple more stones across to you. And again, the idea, the concept is that we'll skip some information over the top of you, and we ask you to take a little deeper dive into it to research it and kind of practice it and make it your own. So, but before we skip these 2 stones, I want to put a target on these 2 stones. So I want you to think about the 6 or 7 stones we've skipped already for you, and I want to put a target out there. I think that too oftentimes, I used to have an old slide in decks I presented years ago commercially that, Ford had that quality is job one, kind of phraseology that they had that was in their commercials. And I'd used for years prospecting is job one for our commercial sellers, because that's where we lose or we win, right? Yep. So what I want to do is I want to get into just kind of diving over a target. I want to put a target out there. I want to put a target on the back of the Hilton Supply Management and ask each and every one of you to chase the Hilton Supply Management hotels in your turf. It was something that was launched probably 3 months ago. It was sponsored. Eric Hardaway earned the endorsement. But what's so cool about this, and Victor and I were talking about this when we got done with the first broadcast, he said, why aren't people doing more of this? Yep. And that's me scratching my head, because here's what we've got with Hilton Supply Management. I want to reintroduce this concept. We've got an agreement with Hilton Supply that says, these Orkin cats, I'll say it again, these Orkin cats are pretty good dudes, they're pretty good gals, they know what they're doing, we endorse them for the property. So you've got that kind of overarching endorsement coming from Hilton Supply. There are over 10,000 hotels that are available. The cool thing about it is all the tools to execute this are on the My Rollins site. All you've got to do is put Hilton Supply Management in the search bar on My Rollins, and the toolkit will pop up. The toolkit to execute this targeted marketing, right? So in that toolkit, first off, you will have a list of all the hotels. Now, the list isn't 100% complete. We've got a bunch of email addresses. We've got a bunch of phone numbers. We've got the addresses. We've got the brand name. You know, they're not necessarily all Hilton properties. Hilton Supply Management manages properties, right? They manage, you know, they could have some Marriotts in there. They could have some other things. But the list is all there. With a couple of clicks, you can sort it by zip code. You can sort it down to state. You know, I'm being from Ohio, I sorted out Ohio. Right. I said, I wonder how many of these opportunities are in Ohio. There's 318 of them in Ohio. So what we want you to do is we want you to put a target on that list. We want you to go out to that list. And then use the tools that are in the toolkit. The whole scope is there. Everything's there. The scope of service is there. More importantly, even for our newer folks, the pricing is all there. You don't have to worry about making a mistake on pricing. It's all inside the toolkit. All you got to do is click on it and get after it. There's even, you know, the scope's there, the pricing's there. What else do we have in there? We got some flyers that you can lead with if you're cold calling that talks about the endorsement. There's a letter, an endorsement letter from the Hilton Supply folks that kind of lays it out. Heck, there's even a flyer you can use to get their employees discounts on Orkin services residentially in their home. So the package is all there. There's some selling tips, you know, kind of from Eric Hardaway, who secured this. And if you get into a big group, one of the comments in Eric's notes is that get in and sell one, and they may be part of a bigger group, and that can lead to 10 hotels, 15 hotels, you know, under the big property management, because Eric said that's the real target. If you get in and sell one, you could sell a whole bunch more, right? And just work it on the referral basis. And if you get into something that's really big, reach out to Eric. The guy's genius, you know, in this segment. There's nobody better in the hospitality front than Eric Hardaway.
So in sum, we got 10,000 locations. Every state has a certain number of locations. Out of curiosity for you guys, I want to know this, is like how many folks have actually started reaching out to some of these HSMs? Out of curiosity, hit me with the one if you started reaching out already to these. It'd be interesting to know, because you got the pricing, you're approved/preferred vendor already. Right? You got the kit to sell, you got a territory, you got the locations, you got the emails, you got maybe the numbers updated. Sounds like a good plan to me.
Yeah, and I think as you think about the things we skipped already.
Benjamin's in, Bobby's already started, Brady started, Matt Myers started. Okay.
There you go. I think a couple of them names were on that list we just talked about, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So we've had some early success, but I think there's a whole lot of properties. I guess my goal would be is if I was receiving this information, I'd be darn sure I got in front of everyone in my turf. Like, I mean, I'm making a joke about it, but I would literally put a target on that thing and say, before they throw dirt on me, I'm getting an audience with that guy or that gal. You know, one of the things Eric talks about in some of the cheat notes, you know, the kind of the cheat sheet on how to sell them, you know, depending on the size of the hotel, it may not be the general manager. If it's a general manager of a Hilton resort property, you're probably not going to get an audience with that guy or that gal. But you start with engineering, or you start with somebody in food service, you know, you kind of work your way in there. So there's just a tremendous amount of tips in here on how to sell it. The goal is to go target it. And again, the lists are out there. There are some names there. There are some phone numbers there. There are some email addresses there. But don't be that guy or that gal that calls up and says, Victor Antonio doesn't work at that Embassy Suites in Dallas, Texas anymore. You got bad information, right? Because these lists get dated, right? So just be your continuing hunter. And I just think it's a way better way to approach prospecting than just walk in cold somewhere else. That at least you got a whole bunch of stuff you can talk about.
They know you, you're approved.
Yeah.
By the way, on the price, what's the discount compared to the average price in the market?
It's probably about 10% off the rate card, maybe a little bit more. But again, the cool thing about this target, this is a pretty good. It's business that I would chase. You know, I think some of you that have been around me know I won't chase a 50, 60, I won't cold call anything that's less than $120, $150 a month.
Okay.
Because there's just no money in it, because the effort's the same.
Right.
Right? So these all fall in, even if it's a Hampton Inn, you know, and even if you don't get a whole bundle, even if it's just for the GPC,
right.
you know, you're talking a $1,200, $1,500 sale, let alone all the ancillary that you could bundle. You get into one of these Hilton resort properties, you're talking $30,000, $40,000, you know, fully loaded proposal you can get into.
But as you said earlier, you know, you land on one, then expand, right?
Yeah.
Land, expand, grab other markets.
Amen. And there's some that we service already, so you might want to start there too. So
do we have any video testimonials of some of these that we've done, or any?
I don't know that we do, but they may.
They may. Okay.
But they may.
That'd be kind of cool to have that.
Yeah, and Eric's a great resource if you get in there knocking around with the big management group.
Love it.
So
Great
just making sure I got all these notes in here.
Yeah.
You know, Eric's contact numbers are all in that toolkit, so jump into that and take a peek at that. Again, we're one of 3 vendors. It's Rent-A-Kill and Ecolab. Okay. So it's Rent-A-Kill, Ecolab, and us. And we're going to talk a little bit about separation between those here in a moment. But that's the target as we skip these next 2 stones. And I think the first stone I want to skip is voicemail. You know, voicemail, there's a whole bunch of different books written on voicemail. You know, I go way back again, dating myself to the Steve Schiffman days on how to cold call, you know, cold calling techniques. I think it's a Bible, you know, for cold calling. But I love what Victor has done in the Sales Velocity Academy. He's got a segment in there that talks about the perfect voicemail. And it's under the prospecting tab. Again, what I consider to be job 1 for y'all out there, prospecting. It's under the prospecting tab in the SVA, and it's about voicemail. There are 10 videos, and more importantly, again, we talked about, you know, I want to think about it. There's content here that you can print out. There's a PDF at the end of the videos that you can print out 23 scripts of different voicemails that you can leave for customers.
Correct.
So as you work your way through this, talk a little bit about the importance of voicemail and you know, just kind of spin that.
So let me highlight this. So again, under the prospecting tab, you're going to see the perfect voicemail. Great title, I know. Anyway, so under there's like 23 different scripts. And there's different script. For example, here's the competitor sharing script, which means if they're buying from somebody else, why not buy from you also? There's also the recent announcement script. There's 23 different scripts in here that you can take, modify, and then begin to use. So here's kind of the plan here. So for example, let's look at this HSM, right? Let's say there are those 10,000 locations nationwide. Within your region, let's say there's 100 locations. Well, the question then becomes, how do we begin the outreach program, right? As Ed said, prospecting is job 1. So we have to begin by first figuring out, well, what are we going to say? Because more likely than not, we're going to get voicemail. Let's be honest, right? So let's figure out what these voicemail scripts should sound like. So what if I challenged you to review there's only 10 videos plus the 23 scripts, and then maybe come up with 3 scripts. There's a reason why I'm saying 3 scripts, just 3 scripts that we're going to use as outreach. So we're going to call, we're going to leave the first voicemail, we'll come up with a voicemail script. We're going to follow up with an email, which pretty much is going to say what we said in the voicemail, and then we're going to wait a while and then do the same thing. We're going to reach out again with the second voicemail script, again, building on the first one, adding more value. What if you can create this type of cadence? So check out the perfect voicemail. The scripts, again, 23 sample scripts. You can write your own script. I will also recommend, Ed, that they look at, there's something called the prospecting system, which talks about the cadence, the rhythm that you use, and how you should actually sequence these out. Because I think that's the hard part, is that sometimes we have to discipline ourselves to kind of say, okay, every week I'm going to reach out to 5 people, right? 5 locations. Okay, what am I going to say on the first one? What email am I going to follow up with? Maybe even add a video to that. And I think you mentioned in the last broadcast that we also track all this stuff through the CRM.
Yeah, you put each touch in the CRM. I sent this email. I left this voicemail. I followed up with this email, and you track that in your CRM, so you keep your cadence up and you trigger it for the next event. So if I don't hear anything from you in a week, here comes an email. Right. If I don't hear anything from you in another week, here comes another voicemail. Right. You know, just tracking that, so you're changing that up to kind of attract them in and find a message.
I like that.
Messaging either through the voicemail or through the email that may resonate and kind of be that trigger that say, you know what, I'm going to call that dude.
Yeah. But do the scripts before.
Absolutely.
Write them out. Write 3 scripts out before, again, which will also be your email. And they may also be a video you might want to send. Because again, there's something about seeing your face. Again, we leverage all the locations we're already at. We leverage that we're a preferred vendor. We leverage the fact we got a great price. We got a playbook to work with. I don't know, I'm thinking this is I don't want to say it's a layup, but like, what's the penetration rate you're looking for?
Right now,
within somebody's territory.
Yeah, right now I think we have about 10 to 12% of this, right? Of this market in place that we currently do right now. You know, I don't know that I have a target. I mean, we talked about this in the first broadcast, but I rest assured if I had 10 of these in my turf, I'm touching them, I'm getting in front of them. I'm going to make the effort to do all these steps to get in front of them before they throw dirt on me. Right. I mean, these are valuable properties for us. They make nice commissions, and the branches love this kind of business. Think about what goes on there, right, with these kind of things. So my suggestion would be, I think we should have at least 30% of this market. If you got Ecolab with the share, you got Rentokil with the share, and you got Bedbug Doug with the share, right? Mm-hmm. So the other thing about these preferred endorsements, they don't have to do business with us. So I don't want you rolling up to them and saying, you don't have Ecolab, Rentokil, or us, you got to sign on the line that is dotted. There's some positioning there. The corporate folks at Hilton Supply Management would love for them to be on one of their endorsed plans. Right. So they got some sanctity of the program, and they know it's in good hands. But again, they don't have to come over to us. But all it does is it affords you that opportunity to get the door open.
I love it. No, I think it's great. I think 30% is probably a solid target. Yeah. What do you think for those of you who have gone after your HSMs already in your area? What's your penetration rate like, closed deals? I think we should break that up into two, right? There should be percentage of contact means, did you touch everybody? Which should be 100%.
100%.
Yeah, but as far as close rate, maybe 30% of those?
I would think so. I mean, certainly take it from touch to at least an audience, maybe.
Yeah. What do you guys see as close rate out there? What do you think? Is 30 a reasonable number for a penetration rate with the accounts given in your territory? So if you have, 300 locations, 33% would be like 90, something like that?
Yeah.
That you close?
Yeah.
What do you guys think? What's a good percentage rate? Put it in the actual chat. Get your number. By the way, we're not going to hold you to it, okay? So in case you're wondering, I don't want to put anything in because he's going to hold me to it. Not looking for that. Okay, I love that.
Now, the other thing I will challenge y'all with and kind of put a little money on the table is...
Eric Downey says 40% plus. I kind of like Eric Downey.
Eric Downey can sell. That guy can sell. The other thing I would say that I would challenge you with is we did it in the first broadcast and my phone blew up. I would challenge you right now to write the first voicemail script. So let's assume you're calling on the Hilton the Hilton Management Supply.
Are you officially challenging them?
I'm challenging them.
All right.
So I want you to write a voicemail right now. So just imagine you pick up the phone, you try to make that cold call, and it goes to voicemail. What are you saying? I want you to write out the script specific to the target that is the Hilton Group, that target. You send me that script. The first 10 that I get, I'm going to send a $100 gift card to, and just keep them coming. So right now, when we finish this broadcast, get in there, write your script, and then we'll share the best of the best of the best when we get them wrapped up together. And I might even write one myself, Victor.
Really? Oh, you're going to go there. Yeah. Write your script.
If I'm asking them to write them, I should probably write one, right?
Yeah. By the way, Gordon, let me see. Gordon said here, if it's a preferred vendor, which it is, I would think between 30 and 40%. Love it. Josh Gillespie agrees with you, 30 to 40. Adam says 40%. R. Kelly, again, says 35% plus, 30 to 40. And Brian Bergeron. Oh, is he like French or something?
He was that.
Bergeron.
You've met him.
Yeah, he says, and 100% contact rate. Make them all tell us yes or no. I like Bergeron.
I like that.
I like him. So that's going to go. I think that's reasonable. I think 30% is good.
Yeah. So get your voicemail. Get your voicemail scripts to me, and certainly the DSMs and the RSMs can certainly share those as well. I think that'll be a good practice.
Hey, so Dennis Gantz here says, where in Rollins 1 is the Excel on the list of properties?
It's linked up in the sales toolkit.
Okay.
So you open up the sales toolkit, Hilton Supply Management or Hilton Supply Management in the search bar will take you to the toolkit. It's a Word document that has some links in it, and the link is Review List of Opportunities. It's the bottom of that first page. I know you can't see that very well, but that's where they're all at.
Well, why don't you hide it for them next time? I mean, that should be like branded big, not at the bottom is the footnote. What's going on here, Ed? What's going on here? Let's make it easy for these people to find the people.
Quit having this guy in here. So yeah, I mean, I think that's the first thing is, do we have something, right? And then think about all the other things, all the other pieces and all the stones that we've skipped. The other one that I wanted to get into now that I think is pretty valuable is if you've not yet subscribed to Victor's podcast, I think you need to do that. He's going through a series. He's got about 15 2 to 3 minute videos on selling during a recession. And I found tremendous value. I teased them earlier this morning when we were talking about it, that there are a couple duds out there, but most of them are really good. But the good news is they only a couple, 3 minutes. So if you waste 2 or 3 minutes, so be it. But you may find them more valuable than I did, but most of them are crazy valuable. And it's talking about how to help our customers when they're struggling in a recession. So talk about first why you're doing those and what your goal was trying to help folks with.
What we're starting to see now in the market is everybody's talking about a recession coming. And depending on which expert you decide to listen to, it's going to be within the next 12 to 18 months, right? And it's either going to be a hard landing or a soft landing. I like when they talk about this stuff. Nobody really knows. Everybody's just rolling dice trying to figure this out, throwing some tarot cards out there to try to figure it out. But in the meantime, the numbers are there that we're pretty much in a recession right now. It just hasn't really fully hit us. So the question then becomes, how do you sell in a recession? Well, let's flip the script and try to figure out what are people going to be struggling with. And let's say, for example, HSM, the Hilton Supply Management Organization, what are they struggling with? They're trying to figure out how to, Ed and I talked about this, make sure they have a high occupancy rate, that all the rooms are always filled, which means that you can walk in and say, look, let me show you what we here at Orkin can do to help you make sure that we don't have any issues. Ed, let's talk about the issues because I want to tie that into the recession mindset. Like, what issues would they have that would make them lose money, and how can we as Orkin Rollins help them?
Yeah, and I think if you take in these videos, they'll get your mind thinking. They'll get your mind just working on it. So as I'm thinking about, again, I want to put that target on HSM, right? We want to put that target. What's going on in their world today that we can leverage to get us in front of them more frequently or more successfully, right? And I think there's a couple things going on in the market. Number one, commercial bed bug, particularly in our hotels, is going up. People are getting back in rooms. So that's a good thing for us, right? Not that we want to wait on the bed bug, but I think it presents a couple opportunities for us to help that customer. One of the biggest complaints and one of the biggest pain points that we get from our hospitality customers that Eric deals with all the time, and anybody that's involved in managing these large hotel groups, is the rooms available to rent. So now we're getting right to revenue, right? So recession's coming. Everybody's screaming and trying to grasp for revenue. We got the bed bugs coming back. If they get bed bugs in a room, that's going to reduce the availability to sell that room. And I mean, the folks at the very top of the food chain, one of the first reports they look at is rooms out of service. Be it the plumbing's broke, be it there's bed bugs in it. So you've got that. You've got that in favor. Bed bugs are up. Rooms out of service is vitally important. As the occupancy rates start to rise. A year ago it didn't matter. They were lucky to be half occupied, right? So if they had a room out of service, it wasn't a big deal. But now if they're getting into these high occupancy areas, where they're filling up these hotels, losing one room for a couple, 3 nights because they got bed bugs in it is hitting the bottom line and crushing them. The other thing that's going on, not only inside our industry, is there's a tremendous amount of turnover in the workforce. So think about all these new folks, all these new housekeeping folks, all this new housekeeping stuff, all the turnover they're having internally at the Hilton hotels, that they've got a lot of folks working for them today that don't know what bed bugs look like, don't know how to identify them, won't catch it early to prevent a whole shutdown of the room for a week if they catch it early. So what can we do? We made a living, a lot of you made a living years ago when bed bug really started to boom, on going out and offering free training. I think we got it in 6 or 7 different languages. What if you approached these Hilton Supply properties and said, look, here's what's going on. Bed bugs are starting to come back. I don't know if you're seeing that, but a lot of your peers are. We realize what's going on with the turnover, and we realize with the occupancy rates coming up, how important it is that you have these rooms available to sell. And you hit them with that. Here's what we can do at Orkin. We're not asking for any more money, asking for the opportunity to come in. We'll take a half an hour, and we will train your newly hired hotel staff to look and spot bed bugs so that you can get ahead of it. So it's an occurrence, it's not an infestation. And so I think there's tremendous value in trying to figure out how you help folks in a recession. And that's an approach that, maybe Rent-A-Kill's not doing. Yeah. Maybe Ecolab's not doing. Putting yourself out there.
I got to emphasize. So let's call that the Bedbug Script that they can write. But I mean, if you rewind this video and you just go back to what he just said in the last 2 to 3 minutes, that right there would be a great script tighten it up a little bit, but just what you said there, Ed, was fantastic. I think that could be a great script, at least one of the voicemails you can leave.
And think about having that conversation with them. Maybe it's not on their mind, but when you start talking about bedbugs are coming back, occupancy's going up, man, you're screaming for every dollar of revenue. You know, all your other costs are going up. I'm doing this for nothing to help you train your people better, right? Think about the benefits of that, and you're not selling them a lick of business. You're not asking for any money. You know, the money comes later, baby. The money comes later. So even if it's a hotel property we already do, think about that approach for retention. But the other thing I think we've got, when again, I'm trying to stay singularly focused on HSM, is the two competitors that we have that chase this business that have that approved vendor. You got Ecolab and you got Rentokil. And I know one thing, from sitting in my national seat, you know, where I get involved in a lot of the big national account deals, Rentokil's struggling mightily. We got our own struggles out there. Don't let me kid you, but we don't have anywhere near the struggles that Rentokil's having in delivering service and putting trucks in parking lots, and we certainly don't have the struggles that Ecolab's having putting trucks in parking lots. And a lot of it goes down to our brick and mortar locations, right? You think about you know, for instance, I know we got a lot of folks from Dallas on here. You know, Ecolab may have 20 technicians, 30 technicians running around in Dallas. We got 200 that live in the market, right? So I think that our horsepower, even though we're down a little bit more staff, we do have 300 more techs than we had last year sitting here today. I think that's a story that we can tell because you'll hear the response time. You know, what's going on? Well, when does the Ecolab guy get here to take care of these bed bugs? Or, you know, what are you doing with the bees and the wasps? Well, you can get here in a couple of days. I think you're living that out there. I think if you start talking about it, I think we'll be better off.
I love that. So then the second script you can actually write, I'm trying to help you guys out here. The first is the bedbug script, right? But then there's also the response time script. In terms of writing that script out, leaving that as a voicemail. By the way, it's great feedback here on the chat. Speak the hospitality language to gain credibility. Offer a bedbug K9 inspection demonstration by Adam. Robert Barr says, when prospecting, lead with bedbugs. Sounds wrong, but I understand what you're saying.
No, it makes sense. And, you know, a lot of the West Coast folks, they're talking with the canine dogs, and the folks in the Midwest. What a lead. What a lead. I mean, just what a lead.
Great suggestions.
You know, talking about, you know, separating. We're not chasing your pest control. You know, we can figure that out. Being different. I think one of the other examples is your mind starts to think about how you can help folks in a recession. We had a request that we would have blown off 6 months ago. We had a request from a very large grocery store chain that we do all of their distribution centers. They came to us and they said, because of the relationship that Dave Gore and Steve Goodis have with them, we would like you guys to take over what we are doing now internally and see if you've got any interest in doing it. And it's their Food Safety Modernization Act audits, right? Their FSMA audits. And 6 months ago, if it got to my desk, I would have said, nah, we don't do those. But we're going down that road right now with this customer to provide these audits that take anywhere from 2 to 3 days to complete, because the head QA guy for this organization is the guy doing most of these, and he's out of staff, he doesn't have enough QA inspectors, and he said, look, Orkin, I trust you, and they trust us, believe me, they trust us. So what we will be doing in the near future after I hooked up with our QA team is, I don't know what it's gonna cost. We're going to figure out some pricing that works. We may do it all internally out of Atlanta to do these inspections, but we are going to do that for that customer to relieve the pressure and the strain they have on their own working environment, and at the same time, lock them in with us to where we're doing it. You know, our competitors, Ecolab and Rentokil, have their own inspection units. We're going to jump into this game in a big way, you know, $6,000 to $8,000 inspections, because, you know, the customer asked us, and I swear to you, 6 months ago, I just said, nah, we don't do that stuff. We don't do that stuff. But think about how you can help that customer do something different. Think about everything you can do to position yourself in a different way. We've done a tremendous job, and a lot of folks on this call, I see the names. You know, stored product pest was something we were pretty crappy at a long time ago, right? Until we hired Steve Goodis. We hired him away from Purina, right? We hired him, and we have just literally, in the last 2 months, we've sold $300,000 worth of standalone stored product pest monitoring that we would have never done before. They just landed a deal, I think, down there in New Orleans for like 60 grand, 70 grand to do stored product pest monitoring in a coffee plant, right? Stuff that, you know, just stuff that we've got these experts. Let's start to position them that way.
Absolutely.
So I mean, I'm bouncing around a lot, but
that's
again,
all right. That's all right. I love it, because I think also when we talked about this series I have on the recession, I really talk about the mindset also. Is that when we get in, and It's not you. I'm just saying, in general, what typically happens is salespeople psych themselves out. Like, nobody's buying, now's not a good time to sell. No, it's exactly the right time to sell, because that's exactly what your competitors are thinking. They're like, nobody's buying right now, now's not a good time to sell. Now is the time to sell. I think also, we talked about this earlier, it's also time to build some credibility. Like going in there to do some free training, especially on the bed bugs. This just builds more credibility. And again, even if they don't buy today, they'll give us I'll think about it. Maybe 6 months from now, they'll be ready to buy. So let's get in there.
Absolutely. An example coming out of this, Jordan Bosman, many of you know him, perennial President's Club winner out there on the East Coast. He's in D.C. He had a proposal for a Hilton property, the Hilton D.C., that was like $200,000 with ProAct and all that built into it, that right at the time of COVID, when the hotel actually closed in D.C. because of COVID, so they shut it down. So this proposal, where he thought it was almost ready to sign on the line that's dotted, just went south. So he shoots me a note. He said, here's the script I left this guy. So that's one I'll share with y'all for sure. Here's the script I left with this guy. He's the new general manager. He's getting his foot back in the door. So think about just being different and separating yourself that way.
Yeah.
Get out of the box. Get out of the, I want to give you a free inspection. No.
I like the fact that you have this HSM. It is a Target.
Amen.
And then you have all the tools, all the pricing, preferred vendor. I don't know. I'm thinking layup.
318 of them in Ohio. If I was in Ohio, I'll guarantee you I'd be in front of them.
Gordon just says, Steve just sold $67,000 of stored product pest for us in New Orleans.
There you go.
That's probably what he was talking about. Yep.
There you go.
And so good stuff here. Jacob Johnson, I don't know what this means, but he says, that's a lot of evil weevils. Like, who talks like that, man? Who talks like that? I don't know.
Evil weevils. Amen.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, let's get out of here.
All right. Got a lot of good people on here, man. By the way, I just want to highlight, we have another celebrity in the house, Randy Jackson. Randy, I see you, brother.
That's the second time you've shouted out my guy from Youngstown.
It's all right.
I mean, we went to the same high school.
Oh, I
and
didn't
you're
know
giving
that.
him a hard time.
He's a good guy. I don't know him, but I feel he's a good guy. We got Roxanne Gallegos. I'm starting to like her. I always see her, so she's awesome. Yeah, good people. By the way, anything else you want to close out with?
No, I want to get out of here. Yeah, just a couple of housekeeping things. We're way up against time. So Victor did a podcast he did a podcast with Anthony Iannarino, right? And Anthony Iannarino is another one of these sales gurus. I happen to, my favorite guy is Victor. That's why I put him in front of you. But Anthony's kind of really dry and just brings great content. That podcast is about an hour, and I'm telling you, it had me thinking upside down. Yeah. I mean, I was thinking and thinking and thinking. So it's out there. If you've not subscribed to Victor's YouTube channel and his podcast yet, do that. It just pops. Like the 15th version of the 15th segment of Selling in a Recession popped on my phone when I was driving in here today. So what did I do? Hands-free. I just popped it in my phone and listened to it, right? So that's one thing there. Getting deals unstuck. I know a lot of you attended that master class, last month. Yep. Great. Sorry, repeat that. And if you weren't there for that one is in the Velocity Academy as well. And Victor, you've got an announcement for Friday, another master class, right?
Yeah. So this Friday we're doing one called I didn't know what the title that I was playing. It was either going to be buying in or checking out. It's all about how do you detect if somebody's really telling you the truth or not. My favorite title, I think it was buying or lying. I think I'm going to go with that one. But anyway, so this master class, there's going to be some nonverbal stuff like body language on detecting whether somebody's giving you all the information, because sometimes people give you, as they say, information erroneously, or sometimes they're just not willing to give you information. But I'm going to focus this master class on wording, phrases, things people say. I'm going to blow your mind, because once you learn how to kind of detect and listen for the right words, you'll kind of know when to stop and maybe ask deeper questions, or maybe you'll realize when they're not telling you the complete truth. So I'm going to highlight, we'll do some body language stuff, but I really want to focus on the verbal side of when somebody's being not so straightforward. How's that for being polite?
Yeah. I mean, and again, as many of you know, that's the kind of stuff that intrigues me about this whole journey that I'm on all the time on trying to get better in sales, is that stuff that's, this HSM thing, that's kind of meat and potatoes, execution type stuff. This other stuff, this Anthony Iannarino video and the podcast and these master classes are the stuff that intrigues me and makes me think, and hopefully it makes us all better.
I hope so.
To separate ourselves.
The numbers are showing it. You got some good numbers. Congratulations, guys.
Great performances.
Great numbers.
For the folks in the hunt for President's Club, we're 7 months in. I should have the numbers tonight to push to you via email, and we will link up. I'll link this up. I'll link the PDF up for the perfect voicemail, and I'll send a few things to you tonight as a follow-up. So again, I thank you for your attention, and appreciate everybody that had their cameras on. It was outstanding. So that's all we got. We out of here?
We out of here.
Go finish up August. You're on a good start so far. Thank
Kill
you
it.
all.
See you guys.